The year is 1981, and Hollywood is coming at us with fangs and claws. It's a werewolf face-off, this time on Versus.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Versus. And last time, we pitted three of our favorite slashers together. This time, we will be pitting two werewolf movies together. Both come out in 1981. We are pitting American Werewolf in London and The Howling together.
And there was a third that year, too, wasn't there?
Yeah, a movie called Wolfen that came out, but
yes,
we're ashamed to say none of the three of us have seen it. So
Yeah. And we're not going to review it.
I mean, I'm not that ashamed.
No, I'm not that ashamed.
But
these are the big two that everybody talks about.
These are the big two, yeah. Well, I mean, 1981 was the year of the werewolf, apparently. And there's a lot of interesting facts about this movie, both movies. American Werewolf in London, actually, Rick Baker actually had a whole other category. Was it the
Academy Awards?
Academy Awards, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they made a whole new category for him just so he could win makeup.
Yeah.
Best makeup in 1981.
And rightly so.
So.
Yep.
That was awesome.
And then he also won it in 2010.
Yes, yeah, for the Wolfman.
For the Wolfman.
Yeah, interesting enough.
Yeah.
All right. And just like the last Versus episode, we have 7 categories this time. Christopher, why don't you run down the list of categories we have for these two movies?
All right, we have acting, score, story, kills, transformation/effects, comedy,
And scare
for
factor?
some reason, and scare factor.
Yeah, we gotta get the scare factor in here. I mean, it's werewolf movies.
Yeah.
Teen Wolf was scary.
Acting is our very first category. We all agreed on American Werewolf in London.
Yes.
It's
not like we had much to pick from on either side.
No, they're both not standout for acting.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, at this time, horror films weren't really known to be producing great actors.
No.
Well, I mean, you could argue that, but
I think it just happens. It happens,
I think so too.
Just here and there, but it doesn't. You get a lot of good actors that come out of that, like Jamie Lee Curtis come out of Halloween and stuff. But,
well, yeah, she's kind of an anomaly though.
I mean, there's several,
but not.
I mean,
not like
Corey
her.
Feldman.
Not like her.
But looking at this, we looked at it like The Howling didn't have one single standout performance.
No.
Where we like the dynamic of the characters in American Werewolf.
I like Terry.
Yeah, Terry was good, the friend.
She was good.
I didn't mind
her boyfriend was good.
Yeah. Dennis Dugan, who
yes.
The Happy Gilmore and Big Daddy director.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind Karen so much, but you guys said she's too weeby for you.
I can't stand her.
Just too, I don't know.
I can't really stand her in anything.
She did okay because of the fear. Like, you could see how, I mean, there was some creepy stuff in there.
Yeah, I hated that, though.
Well.
And I know, and it's like, it was realistic fear, but her realistic fear was annoying to me.
Right.
The one standout performance, I guess you'd say, in The Howling is Bob Picardo as Eddie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I really like him, which, I mean, he mostly just does TV, but I do like him on everything that I've seen him on.
Yeah.
I thought he was a really scary dude.
Yeah.
Or were-dude.
And then the other side of the American Werewolf, like we said, the two friends, the guy in the Slaughtered Lamb, the bar, Brian Glover.
Yeah.
He was kind of creepy and eerie acting.
Yeah.
So,
I thought the main two guys from American Werewolf were awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know about the buddy. I'm not sure. Like, I don't know his career.
No, it's been very small. Like I said, I can't remember. For some reason, I can only remember one movie off the top of my head that he's been in, and I'm sure he's been in other stuff. He was in My Girl.
Oh, really?
With he was the poetry teacher or whatever. She took those classes she was taking.
I wouldn't know. I'm Macho movie madness.
Right. Well, anyway,
ain't never seen it.
Okay. All right. Whatever. Whatever. Let's pretend. I don't even know you anymore. But anyway, he was in that movie. Not that I've seen it. He was in that. I don't remember anything else. Yeah, he was on the box or something.
Anyway,
he was on the IMDb page.
Yeah. So. No, I the friend when he was getting slaughtered by the wolf at the beginning, awesome screams. Awesome.
Yeah. He's great.
He was very believable that he was getting murdered.
Oh, yeah.
But the main guy, this was his very first movie. His only experience up until this was a Dr. Pepper commercial.
Yeah.
And it
was a hell of a Dr. Pepper commercial.
It was a very well known Dr. Pepper commercial. Yeah. He was a doctor. I think it may have been the first one where they said be a doctor, something about it.
Dr. Pepper.
Anyway, I thought for a very first time actor, he knocked it out of the friggin' park.
Yeah, he did good.
He was very good. I think it's just
they
were all pretty good.
I think it's just
the nurse was good.
Well, yeah, I just think it was everything together and how the movie was put together. But you can see in story and budget how that all played out. I just think I think the dynamic is what like catapults it between the buddies. Catapulted higher than anything in the Howling, because the Howling's got a little bit creepiness and weirdness going on there too.
Yeah.
Well, and I think before we move on, I'd like to say the acting. A lot of people, or what most people don't realize, is a lot of the actors' jobs gets helped from who's making the movie.
Yes.
If you have a better director, you're gonna get a better performance out of an actor.
Right.
Whether they treat the actor good enough, good to where they act better, or
I feel like
if they just direct them better.
I feel like with Landis, you're going to have a better time.
I think so too.
I really do.
Well, you got Joe Dante on the other side.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I still think Landis would be better.
Yeah,
I think just because of.
Well, and I think Landis got a better crew.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Than
yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I think a lot of the reason why American Werewolf, why the acting was so good was because of Landis.
Mm-hmm.
I think he did, because he seems to draw out better performances from lesser known people than most directors do.
Yeah.
On to the next score. There's not really much to say other than American Werewolf wins again because of Blue Moon.
The theme they used and how they used it in the different versions.
Yeah, they used 3 different versions of Blue Moon, and it sets up the whole entire movie.
Yeah, it does. I think everything fits together pretty well.
It does.
But other than that, the scores of both movies were just
yeah.
I think they're a wash, like score-wise.
Yeah, in between uses of Blue Moon, everything else in American Werewolf, you could just throw it out the window and nobody would notice.
Yeah, I agree.
Howling was the same way though, but they didn't have that song like Blue Moon.
Yeah.
The very beginning, there's something about songs from the 50s are terrifying.
The crooners.
Yeah, they are just terrifying songs. And
there's some 30s and 40s songs.
Oh yeah, now that's getting really scary.
Yeah, like Rob Zombie uses some of those too.
Yes,
that's creepy shit.
But they used the 50s version of Blue Moon to set up the beginning of the movie, and then they used the freaking uptone newer version of Blue Moon to end it, which kind of
bookends.
Yeah, bookend, and not only that, it changed the tone too, because he's laying there dying, and the woman that just barely knew him, but was already in love with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. She runs up on him dead, and then they start playing an upbeat, happy song. It's freaky.
Yeah.
It's freaky
It's
as
weird.
hell.
Yeah, it's weird.
And it ends it on a weird note, and it's really cool. The song ends the movie a way that it shouldn't be ending.
Yeah.
You know, that's really powerful use of a song that the Howling didn't use.
Story. So story.
Story. That was won by the Howling, and we all agreed on that.
Yeah, we did.
I thought it was better.
Well, here's the thing about
Story was real good.
the story is real good. No, the story in both were to me. But I thought that with everything going on in the Howling, it just edged out American Werewolf. I mean, there's just not a whole lot going. Now, I mean, like it almost just the fact that the guys went to the UK and then they go in this bar and there's some creep factor in the bar. It's the most awkward bar on the planet, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
The dynamic between the guys, the acting between the guys was good, and these guys were likable. Also the buddy, after being dead, following him around, or showing up, and then he's having these weird dreams and all. I think that makes the movie greater.
Yeah.
But, or better in a sense, but I don't know. I think there was more stuff going on in the Howling, and I just think that there was more pieces involved than just a basic, hey, this kid got scratched by a werewolf and he's been followed by his dead buddy, and I don't know, they're really neck and neck, I guess. I edged it to Howling just because there's more going on, and it's just crazy.
Yeah. Well, and I like
maybe that doesn't make any sense, but that's how
I think the dream sequences from American Werewolf could catapult it higher for me.
Mm-hmm.
But the lacklusterness of the rest of it keeps it below the Howling. Yeah. Just because the Howling story is so preposterous.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that later on when we get to comedy. It's retarded. I mean, really, it really is.
In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way.
Yeah.
It's, the whole idea of why she's there and what happened to her and why she's there is retarded. And it makes for a super fun story. And I don't know, that's why it beat out American Werewolf. But I do love the dream sequences in American Werewolf. I know a lot of people don't like that, but
I think that's interesting.
I like
when the Nazi werewolf, look.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
come in and blasting everybody.
When was the last time you had a normal dream?
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The scene where he wakes
Probably
up
haven't
in
had
the
one that wild,
middle of the woods and goes running through the kills a deer, tackles it, and that was pretty good too.
I don't have very many wild ones like Nazi wolves killing people with guns, but
you might tonight.
I might now that I think about it.
Anyway, got anything else to say about the story?
No, we'll get into it later, but
Okay.
I totally agree with the Howling.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Howling wins that one.
All right,
kills.
Kills. Yet again we all agree American Werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of a hard.
Well, there were some good kills in the Howling, and
mostly werewolves,
but mostly the werewolves
Yeah.
dying in the Howling.
Not a whole lot of real people.
No, but now the crazy factor of American Werewolf is, I mean, that's just that just to me is a no-brainer.
Yeah,
I mean, all the when the wolf gets loose and on the streets of London.
Yeah.
And everyone's wrecking and dying and running over each other, heads being lopped off and rolling, and there's just, I mean, it's just carnage, and it's insane, and it's crazy, and it was exciting and new, and I think it was great.
Yeah.
Even the kills in the dream sequence with the Nazis.
Yeah, that was it was special. I just thought that was what was so great about that.
Yeah.
So it was pretty much an easy choice for me.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
absolutely.
I especially think at the end when you get into the car wreck deaths, like the people, There's one where somebody gets hit by a car and their head goes flying.
One of them's Jonathan Landis.
Yeah.
Jonathan Landis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He done threw himself in there twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, rest in peace, John Landis.
Actually, I think it's 3 times.
Was he?
I think so. He gets hit by a car, and I think he's the one driving the double-decker bus.
Is he? I don't remember that.
I don't remember.
Anyway.
I don't remember.
Anyway, yeah. Kills were great.
Yeah, kills real good.
Kills are real good.
So we gave
American Werewolf.
the
One
kills.
more point on the board.
All right. Next up is transformation / effects. Yet again,
American
Werewolf.
Yeah.
It had to win. I mean, they had to, like we said earlier, they had to create a new standard to judge movies by, because the effects
a whole
were
nother
so good.
Academy Award just for these effects.
And when Rick Baker had to back out, he was originally attached to do the Howling, and he was a friend of John Landis, and said he had to back out, and so that brought in Rob Bottin to do the Howling. And I would almost say throughout the 80s and 90s, Rob Bottin's body of work is better than Rick Baker's to me.
Yeah, it is.
The Thing and Total Recall and RoboCop.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I'll agree with that, but just not in this movie.
Not in this movie, no. I did like the transformation in the
Hmm.
Howling. It's the bubbly squibs under the skin.
I like that. I like it. But I thought it was too long.
It was too long, and the thing that kills it for me is she just sits there and watches him.
I know
the entire
like
time.
you have a year to run and to get out of the state, and he would still be transforming. You can blast him, blow him away, which actually happened to him later in the movie, which was funny. He got shot in the neck in the middle of transforming again. That was awesome.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think American Werewolf, hands down, dude. That was some of the best cinematic stuff, and I think it still holds up pretty well.
Yeah.
Today, I think.
Yeah.
For as far as practical effects wise, it's great. It's still a sight to behold, and just appreciate the fact that they spent so much time creating this. Like, people created this.
Yep.
Like, that's amazing. Months and weeks, days, months of creating this stuff, like hair follicles coming out of his back and nails growing longer and shit, just like in the eyes. Like, that's just for a few seconds of shots. Like, that's incredible to me.
Yep.
That really is incredible to me.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to say American Werewolf.
I mean, this movie and this body of work inspired Michael Jackson to do Thriller the way he did it, and had the video the way he did it.
Yep.
Like, that's incredible.
Yeah. And we were all agreeing off camera that the friend, when he keeps popping up, like
yeah.
I think the first time he pops up is probably some of the best effects. Yeah. Like practical effects,
like makeup and prosthetics.
It really is. His
neck's all torn up.
Yeah,
and they were talking about bright lighting, high lighting in these, because that's what John Landis he wanted that.
Yeah.
And I mean, they hold up. It looked wet and gooey and nasty. It looked real.
Yeah,
and it still does.
Can I have a piece of toast? That one just cracks me up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was incredible. So yeah, hands down, man. Like, Howling can't touch it.
No, I don't think so either. Which none of us could, because we all agreed on it. Yeah. I have to say, before we move on, I think The Howling has the absolute worst transformation of any werewolf movie ever, and that is the
end.
At the end, it's the Shih Tzu scene. It's the worst thing that's ever been put into a werewolf movie. I think The Howling is a very good movie, except for that scene.
She's getting ready. This is her death scene, and she's getting ready to show, how terrorizing a werewolf can be, and they make you sympathize with her by turning her into a little Shih Tzu.
Just for him to put her down. And it's funny because in the book she survives, I think, doesn't she?
I'm not sure.
She makes it. There's a book, and I guess in the book she makes it out or something, but in the movie she doesn't.
Yeah. There is. I
want to say that's right.
There is one thing the Howling did that American Werewolf didn't do that I liked. In American Werewolf, when he is a wolf and he's running around on all fours, some of those scenes look kind of.
Oh yeah, sure.
werewolves are scary to me when they're standing on their hind legs.
Yeah.
In that
when they're
scene
up.
where he's got the friend in the office, and he's, to me, that's a little more terrifying.
Well, that kind of creates that that separates a wolf from, that's where the man thing comes in.
Yeah.
Where you're part man. That's where that comes in. You're standing up and you're bigger and you're different. You're beastly looking and you're not just this big wolf.
Yeah.
And now, don't get me wrong. I said it earlier. I think that the wolf in American Werewolf in London is awesome looking. It's creepy and it's scary.
Yeah,
and
the face on the thing.
Bulky. Yeah, it's incredible. I love it. But yeah, if he got gained an upper body, like more of a muscular upper body, and was able to stand up at times, that would have been just
absolutely
incredible. But it was still awesome the way it was.
Yeah.
All right, so there's transformation and effects is American Werewolf in London. Mm-hmm. Okay, so comedy, which is you wouldn't think would be in a horror movie, but is in both of these plenty.
Yeah, they're very, very similar movies.
We all agreed that The Howling was actually funnier.
Yeah.
Which is kind of surprising because
Cheesy.
American Werewolf is pretty freaking funny.
I think it's just cheesy, and plus the elements they put in the movie.
Oh yeah,
because I think the funniest thing about American Werewolf is just the buddy who's falling around, and which is this dark comedy, but it's still funnier about that.
The Howling, though, just
lighthearted.
The scenario
is preposterous.
Right.
She is
traumatized.
She's traumatized because she was attacked by a serial killer werewolf. So her therapist sends her to a therapy colony, like a camp.
Self-help.
That is, it's a self-help colony full of werewolves that are just sad that they're werewolves. And he sends her to this colony to get over her trauma from being attacked by a werewolf. He sends her to a colony full of werewolves. It's just it's so stupid. It's so retarded, but it's hilarious. It works great.
Yeah.
And then, her friend comes up. Weird shit's been happening. And then her friend comes up and sees the drawing of the ocean and realizes, oh my God, this is the place that the friggin' serial killer werewolf is from.
Yeah. Which is kind of a scary moment in itself.
It is, because I when the first time I was watching it, I kept waiting for him to catch her right there at the cliff.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
There's some funny little scenes her boyfriend doesn't, the main Karen's boyfriend doesn't eat meat, and then after he gets attacked, he's eating this whole leg of lamb or whatever, and this is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's subtle little things like the Wolf brand chili and the Wolfman on the.
Yep.
It's not as quite as on the nose as American Werewolf in London is with the comedy. It's a little more subtle.
Yeah, but it's preposterous, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So all right, last but not least,
I guess you could say that the last transformation could fit into the comedy spectrum too.
Yeah,
because it was that bad.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so anyway, comedy was won by The Howling. Scare factor, we all agreed. Howling.
Yep.
How crazy is that? I would think the one that won comedy, you would think would not.
I think it just had a better
win scare.
It had a better. Well, and I think it's the way it was. It's so hard because, like I said, there's neck and neck on a couple of these things.
Yeah.
These categories, but they're both very identical movies in certain ways.
Yeah.
And I think the thing about Howling, to me, anyway, my opinion, is there's just far more scenes that are spookier. I should say.
Yes.
There's
tension.
There's tension. And if you add, there's very 80s build up in it. It's very slow and methodical in places. I think if you add a creepiness factor to it, I think that also helps the scare factor grow because it's kind of both. Especially with Eddie and how he's just weird as shit, especially in the porn theater and all that. But I think that adds as a whole, the way it's shot, it's darker. I mean, it's
The setting
it's
is
basically
scarier.
this community or this cult of werewolves at the end, which was a nice twist at the end. And that, I don't know, there's just more to it. But then you have American Werewolf that is not as creepy, but you have 2 or 3 scenes that are very creepy. And I think one scene in particular, I think, is better and creepier on the whole.
Oh yeah.
Than both, out of both movies. It's just, steadily throughout the movie, I'd have to give it to The Howling.
Yeah. Well, and I think the scene that Brandon's talking about is there's a scene where this guy is being chased through the subway, and
he finds the escalator.
He falls down onto an
down.
escalator, and he's laying there, and he turns around.
Yeah.
And you see
And it's
a long shot.
Yeah, it's a beautiful long shot from down.
Yeah, it's probably one of the better shots of any werewolf movie.
Yeah,
ever.
a lot of good horror movies or whatever. I mean, it's a long shot from the top side down to the bottom of the escalator, and you just see, like, you can't see, like, the bottom area very well. It's past the bottom of the escalator, but you just see the wolf just creepily walk slowly into frame. And since it's so far away, they made it look really, really good.
Oh yeah,
it's still believable to me to this day that is a real big fucking scary werewolf.
Oh yeah,
that is creepily,
yeah, he's terrifying.
Yeah, and it just, like, can you imagine sitting there on the escalator, watching that thing come out of the dark into the light and come through in the frame?
Yeah.
Like, that's just, to me, and the werewolf's so badass and so scary looking.
Yep.
In this moment, that it just, I don't know, that to me is just such a not just a scary moment, but a amazing shot. It's a tense moment, but it's an amazing shot.
It's a good shot in that they didn't blow their wad and show the entire werewolf too.
Right, exactly.
But still, the Howling, the setting is better, I think.
Yeah, it's creepier.
It's creepier. The fog is creepy. When like with Terry especially, and I think most of the scary parts involve Terry, the friend.
Yeah.
Because she goes into the rock house that the serial killer lives in, and she goes in there. First off, she's standing at the cliff, and she sees that, oh my God, this is the place that serial killer werewolf is from. And then she finds the friggin' rock house that he lives in. Decides to go walking through there with all the friggin' animal skulls and shit hanging on the walls.
Because it's a scary movie, you have to.
Yeah. And then she finds all the little smiley face stickers, and like it just keeps getting creepier and creepier and creepier. And I don't know, it's just everything about it's creepier. The setting, the place that they're at. Yeah. It's secluded, and we've talked about this many times in our. And
I think videos. that when she dies, that's like you were talking about earlier, when he was upright holding her like that, in the silhouette, the shadows or whatever. That's a good shot. And that's creepy.
Yeah.
And that's where you have your most menacing and cooler looking werewolves too, the scary werewolves. Because I mean that's a werewolf to me. It's a man upright.
It's a man baby.
It's a man baby.
Yep. I don't know. I would definitely give it to The Howling just because.
Yep.
The setting pretty much made it. And, Werewolf in London should have had some more fog, but whatever.
Yep. So after all of them added up, it's a 4-3 win to
American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, it is our 1981 werewolf movie of the year and our versus champion.
Yes.
And congratulations, you get nothing.
You get nothing.
And you'll like it.
You get nothing.
Yeah.
You made your money.
American Werewolf London was great. It spawned a sequel, I guess you should say, or a inspired sequel.
Yeah.
American
Werewolf in Paris.
Yeah, it was great.
What a goofy movie.
It's way goofier. It's not near as it's not meant to be near as scary.
The Howling went on to spawn was it?
Oh my God!
7 more sequels.
17 sequels.
There's 8 more sequels, and
still more coming.
Teen Wolf 1 and 2.
None of which I've seen. And of these 2 films, The Howling's the one that I watch more often.
Yeah.
But I have not seen any of the sequels, and I don't think I will.
No, I don't think anyone needs to. I think that everyone needs to see these 2 that we've talked about today. If they haven't, judge for yourself. But I do think that you will definitely be just fine in not watching any of the other ones.
Yeah.
May turn you into a Shih Tzu.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. I guarantee it. All right, everybody, that wraps up this episode of Versus. Be sure to like and subscribe, and if you have any comments that you want to drop in the comment section below, let us know what you think of the Howling or American Werewolf in London, and we will see you next time on another episode of Versus.